Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan and today we have a big trade to announce between the New Jersey Devils and the Pittsburgh Penguins, exchanging two big time defensemen and really making a huge splash. Now, when it comes to this Devils and Penguins trade, who is the team that wins this deal? Who are the players involved? And what should we think about it? Watch till the end for the full trade breakdown and all of the news, all of the breakdowns, and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are new. 50% of you guys aren't subscribed. So make sure that subscribe button for more news content just like this. Now, big trade alert, and again, the Devils were teasing this right before they announced it, but a big trade between the Devils and the Penguins that I think offers a lot in terms of the Penguins' future as well as the Devils. And again, we see two defensemen exchanged here plus more, so we're going to go through all of it right here and right now. And to me, there's kind of one team that really does win this trade. We'll get into that in a second. When it comes to the actual trade details themselves between New Jersey and Pittsburgh, the Devils acquire D-man John Marino. In exchange, the Pittsburgh Penguins get Ty Smith and a 2023 third-round pick. Now, this one is extremely interesting to me because we heard a lot about John Marino, and potentially there was a deal in place around the draft or close to being a trade that didn't end up going through, but the Penguins have been wanting to trade John Marino for a long time. We saw him linked with the Canucks. We saw him linked with Brock Besser last year in last offseason, but we see him dealt to the Devils, and in my opinion, I think New Jersey and even Pittsburgh to some extent kind of both win this trade a little bit. With the Penguins, they do get a lot of cap space with this deal, but for the Devils, they get a guy like John Marino who, even though he has been pretty inconsistent these last couple of years, still has a lot of talent in my opinion and could be a big part of hopefully a much better Devils defense next year. Now, it's interesting for the Penguins as well with Ty Smith being 22, and he's only played 2 NHL seasons last year and this year, where in 2022, for instance, he played 66 games, getting 5 goals, 15 assists for 20 points, and I think his offensive potential is still there, even if his play driving has taken a little bit of a step back since his first rookie season, but this is a player that, even at age 22, although young, has still shown a lot of rawness to give him maybe too much credit, especially defensively. In my opinion, when he's played, he's been maybe the worst Devils defenseman on defense, and that's saying a lot considering it is the Devils decoy we're talking about. And Ty Smith was a guy that, even though offensively he was holding up his own, at the same time his defensive value was just absolutely horrible. As for the Devils here with of course John Marino, he's signed for the next 5 seasons at $4.4 million. And to me, he's always just been this solid and consistent defenseman. Even though he has taken a little bit of a step back this last year, I still think he's been one of the better ones for the Penguins, and also is still pretty young at age 25, and again, signed for those next 5 seasons, which I think is big for the Devils. But this last year in 81 games had 1 goal, 24 assists for 25 points, but in my opinion is much better defensively than Ty Smith, and will hopefully bring a solid two-way dual threat game to the Devils that they don't quite have as much as they need right now. And they had a top 4 guy, which in my opinion, when you give up Ty Smith and a third-round pick, is pretty worth the value. And for the Penguins, they want to get rid of some cap. They get rid of $4.4 million for the next 5 seasons, so in that respect, they get it done, and we could also see a Marcus Pettersson deal on top of this, but John Marino is a big cap taken off the Penguins, but this is the exact type of deal I wanted to see the Devils make. Add to that defense, use that cap space in a great way, and Marino, in my opinion, could bounce back in a great way next year and be at that top 4 level that, again, the Devils could always use more of. And considering their defensive situation right now, as they wait for players like Luke Hughes and Simone Nemets to take that next step, Marino is going to be a great defenseman to have, and a steady one too. And considering the Devils want to make that playoff push, they want to be in the playoffs this next season, these are the type of deals they need to make. Now, to me as well, this deal is kind of all potential. If Ty Smith does unlock that potential that he had being drafted top 20 back in the 2018 draft, if he's able to unlock that, both the offensive potential and I think still okay overall game that he can have, to me, Pittsburgh could have also a top 4 defenseman on their hands, and likely a big power play player as well. But I do think the fit is interesting in Pittsburgh, combining with all those options they have. I feel like Ty Smith is going to be able to use his offensive weapons so much better there and so much more efficiently, and I feel like he might be in a better position too. I mean, over the past couple of years, he's been sent down. There's been a lot of ugliness, really, in the start of his Devils career, and now we see him transitioning onto Pittsburgh, and I feel like that'll be really, really good for him. And again, as for John Marino, he's proved himself quite quite well. We've seen how good he can be. And the thing is, I think for the Devils, even at his worst, I still think he's been a well above average defenseman. There's been points where there has been some immaturity. There has been some points where the inconsistencies really try to get in the way of his game. But I feel like just he's a solid neutral zone defender, can skate pretty well. And considering the talent that he does have, considering still how young he is at 25 years old as well, and you combine, I think, a pretty good cap hit for him at $4.4 million for the next 5 seasons. And to me, this deal has a lot of potential for both the Penguins and the Devils as well. But especially for New Jersey, when you look at the Metro and you look at the situation in the Eastern Conference, it's so competitive. It is so razor thin. And I think for the New Jersey Devils, they've been wanting to take that step. They've been wanting to get into the playoff race. And I feel like Marino, in a really solid way, does a lot for them. There was also a lot of Chick rumors over the past couple of years. But I feel like even though Marino is much less than what Chikrin can be, he also provides a lot of stability that Devils defense does need. I'm just really happy for them that they actually go after a top 4 defenseman and a guy that can play defense, a guy that can be sturdy in his own zone and can do a lot of the right things at times. And I feel like he'll be solid in New Jersey, even though there will be a lot to work with there. I feel like under players like Dougie Hamilton and other players on top of that, when you have Luke Hughes and Simone Metz coming up as well, that Devils defense looks so much better for the future now, and Marino will be a big part of that. And for the Penguins, I think a lot of this deal just depends on how they use the extra cap space, but I do think adding Ty Smith is going to be really interesting, and I feel like Ty Smith under the Penguins system could be a really fascinating project, although I don't think he's going to be amazing defensively in the NHL at any point in his career. He could turn a page there and be worth his value on both sides of the ice, and I think for the Penguins, saving money and getting that cap off the books while also bringing in an interesting defenseman like Ty Smith is, I think, also pretty solid for them, but again, it just depends on what they do. Do they take that next step? Do they trade as well Pettersson? Do they go after a JT Miller perhaps? A lot of options now for the Penguins, and they get again a big cap hit off the books. But for the Devils, I think it's a pretty amazing trade. As for who I think wins this deal, I do give the edge to the Devils. I think John Marino will likely be better than what Ty Smith will be, and I do think even though you give up a 3rd round pick, for the Devils, they want to compete, they want to be in a good position now, and John Marino does so much of that defense to make it way more competent and way more sturdy throughout the season, and I think for New Jersey, it was a necessary and needed deal to make. As for the team winning, I feel like New Jersey is the team that wins this, though the Pittsburgh Penguins, I do still think if they use that cap space well, can also get out of this deal pretty solidly. But I want to know in the comments down below, what do you guys think of this huge Devils and Penguins trade? Who do you think wins this deal, New Jersey or Pittsburgh? And what do you think about John Marino going to the Devils and Ty Smith going to the Pittsburgh Penguins? Pretty cool exchange to see. And of course, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell if you haven't already, and enjoy the breakdown, and make sure you share this video with your friends. Get the trade news out there, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.